Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, the Commission on Elections maintains there's nothing unconstitutional on its Operation Baklas, despite opposition and calls to postpone it. More religious groups are expressing their support to some presidential and vice presidential bets, but how powerful are these religious endorsements? And later, an author, lawyer, and civic society leader seeks a Senate seat for the second time. We speak to Senatorial candidate Alex Lacson live. Candidates for national posts continued their campaign stops over the weekend as they sought to win the hearts and minds of people, political parties, and some religious organizations. Our Paulo Barcelon reports.
Hopefully, sana kung wala namang presidente ang PDP laban, baka pwedeng ako na lang.
This is what Manila Mayor Isko Moreno told officials of the ruling party Saturday morning as a key pro-Duterte group threw in its support for his presidential bid. Moreno also went to Mindanao on Sunday, but the day before, he made a speech at the weekly prayer meeting of the Catholic group El Shaddai, hoping to also get the votes of its members after its leader, Brother Mike Velarde, endorsed his opponent, former Senator Bongbong Marcos. While Moreno was away, Marcos toured the nation's capital. He made a stop in Caloocan City the day before. Marcos also got the endorsement of rival gubernatorial aspirants in Pangasinan, re-electionist Governor Amado Espino and Congressman Ramon Guico. Marcos won big in Manila and Pangasinan during his failed 2016 vice presidential bid. Another presidential candidate, June Montemayor, held a rally in Manila, appealing to government to stop its mandatory vaccination of children. Meanwhile, the tandem of Senator Ping Lacson and Senate President Tito Soto made the rounds in Baguio City this weekend. The two got the endorsement of City Mayor and former Police Major General Benji Magalong. For Lacson, a former National Police Chief, the silent endorsement of his former comrades in arms is what he's banking on to get more votes.
Ang tawag nila sarili nila, brave movers. Kahapon, ito yung mga retired, mga PMA. May mga mista pa nga si Mayor Magalong dun eh. Na I will not just name them, pero they're on the ground convincing people.
Senator Manny Pacquiao went to southern Luzon this weekend, making a campaign stop in Laguna Province Saturday. Pacquiao sought to convince fisherfolk in the province that he's the right man to become the next president. One of his promises is to help revitalize the fishing industry in Laguna Lake and bring more income to locals.
Sila po ay alamin natin, imbestigahan po natin kung may mga matataas o mayayaman na nagsamantala dyan, kailangan yung taong bayan, lalo-lalo yung mga taga-Laguna ang makinabang.
Labor leader Calyodi de Guzman, meanwhile, was in Rizal Province for a supposed dialogue with residents in a subdivision in Antipolo, Rizal. But village officials did not allow him and his group entry, so de Guzman and his team did the consultation outside subdivision premises. The tandem of Vice President Leni Robredo and Senator Kiko Pangilinan did not have events over the weekend. Paulo Barcelon, CNN Philippines.
For the first time this election season, we will see almost all presidential candidates share one stage for a much-awaited in-person debate. 9 out of 10 candidates are joining the CNN Philippines presidential debate on February 27, Sunday, at the University of Santo Tomas in Manila. They are Ernesto Abella, Leody de Guzman, Isko Moreno Domagoso, Norberto Gonzales, Ping Lacson, Faisal Mangundato, Jose Montemayor Jr., Manny Pacquiao, and Leni Robredo. The office of former Senator Bongo Marcos declined our invitation for now due to conflict of schedule. Marcos earlier skipped the GMA News presidential interviews and the KBP presidential forum. His running mate, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte, also turned down our request for her to participate in the vice presidential debate, Her office did not give any particular reason why. Deputy Speaker Lito Atienza will also not attend the debate as he will undergo knee replacement surgery. The vice presidential debate is happening on Saturday, February 26, also at UST, and we're glad to announce the following have confirmed to participate: Walden Bello, Rizalito David, Manny Lopez, Willie Ong, Francis Pangilinan, Carlos Serapio, and Tito Soto. CNN Philippines will ask the candidates the tough questions as we remain committed to help the Filipino people make informed decisions on May 9. So again, join us on February 26 at 5 p.m. and also February 27 at 5 p.m., the vice presidential and presidential debates live at the University of Santo Tomas here on CNN Philippines. Unedited, unfiltered, coming soon.
A CNN Philippines special presentation, The Filipino Votes 2022 Presidential Debate.
A Filipino best-selling author and a lawyer is giving the senatorial race another shot. He initially declared his plan to run for vice president, but later on decided to give way to Senator Kiko Pangilinan, the running mate of presidential candidate Vice President Leni Robredo. With veteran lawmakers, re-electionists, and returning senators, and prominent personalities, how does he plan to win a Senate seat? Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have senatorial candidate, attorney Alex Lacson. Attorney Lacson, welcome to the source. Thank you so much for your time.
Maraming salamat din sa invitation, Pinky. Thank you very much for inviting me to be with you this morning.
It's good to have you. As I mentioned a while ago, this will be your second attempt at the Senate. Prior to that, you also ran for Congress and you also didn't make it back then. What is it that you are offering to the public now?
The biggest reforms that we need in our country, Pinky, are in the political arena. And these biggest reforms, kailangan maging batas sila. Pag hindi sila naging batas, walang mangyayari. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung masamang sitwasyon natin at masamang sistema sa ating bansa. I am really a writer, Pinky. At yung latest book na sinulat ko, itong 500 Years Without Love, nag-alay ito ng mga radical na reforma kung paano natin supuin yung social ills, yung cancer ng ating lipunan. Sobrang sama na ng sitwasyon natin sa bansa, Pinky, at hindi ko na matiis. I could not look away anymore. I could not close my eyes anymore. I really would like to push for the radical reforms that I wrote in my book at matagal ko nang sinusulong.
Attorney, tell us about these radical reforms.
These radical reforms, Pinky, there are radical reforms that we need sa political system, sa economic system, sa bureaucracy, sa educational sector natin, at marami pang areas, Pinky, no? But let me cite a few of these radical reforms, no? Sa political reforms, for instance, Pinky, yung multi-party system natin is really very chaotic. Kung napapansin niyo, kung sino man yung na-elect na presidente, maraming mga politiko nagsisilipatan and they abandon their at lumilipat doon sa kampo ng bagong presidente na na-elect. Walang matinong partido. Dahil yan sa multi-party system, kailangan natin bumalik doon sa two-party system kasi human nature yan, Pinky, pag ikaw ay pagdalawang partido lang at ikaw ay membro ng isang partido na mahiya ka na tumawid o lumipat doon sa kabila kasi kakantsawan ka. No? Ang tingin sa iyo ay wala kang paninindigan, wala kang prinsipyo. So kung may two-party system, nagkakaroon tala ng pagandahan ng plataforma, pagandahan ng serbisyo, pagandahan ng performance. No? Ganyan ang nangyayari halimbawa sa UK. No? Dalawang partido. Ganyan din nangyayari sa Amerika, dalawang partido. Maraming ganyan sa Europa, sa Japan, sa South Korea. So yun, no? At bumalik tayo sa two-party system, Pinky, instead of itong very chaotic na. Pangalawa,
Attorney,
Pinky,
before you go to the second point, I just want to bring this in. No? If we talk about the two-party system, I wanted to get your thoughts on common candidates of various political parties now.
isa yan, Pinky, kasi walang malinaw talaga na na partido sa atin, no? So talagang kadalasan political convenience ang nangyayari, no? Kung sino yung palagay nila ay makakatulong sa kanila, panalo at makakasama nila, yun ang nangyayari, no? So to a certain extent naging barkadahan sa politika instead na plataforma naging barkadahan, no, ang nangyayari. So,
But do you
yun po.
agree that even in the Lenny Kiko tandem, there are common candidates for senators?
It was not my decision, Pinky. It was the decision of our standard bearers, and
I know.
and I respect them. And I respect
Oh.
them.
Opo, pero kayo ho ba ay sang-ayon dito personally? Kasi if it's a two-party system, you're either one way or the other, hindi ho ba? But now, as I mentioned a while ago, we're seeing common candidates joining different political parties. One party as such is the party you belong to, where you're running rather, under the Lenny Kiko tandem. Kayo ho personally, sang-ayon ho ba kayo dito o hindi?
Right now po, I support the decision of our standard bearers. But when we get elected, I really would like to push for that two-party system para ma-develop yung mga partido sa atin at magkakaroon ng klaro na plataforma at pagalingan po ng serbisyo bawat partido.
Okay, second radical reform.
Second radical reform, Pinky, I really believe that we need to find a solution to the political dynasties, issue of political dynasties sa ating bansa. No? And there is a solution to that at gusto kong isulong yung solusyon na yun, Pinky. No? As you can see, hindi na maganda ang sitwasyon ng politika sa ating bansa. No? So I really would like to find a solution to that. Tatlong scenarios actually ang gusto lang naman nating ma-address dito, Pinky. Hindi natin sila pinagbabawalan na tumakbo. No? Gusto lang natin i-regulate ito. So,
And how do you plan to do this? Because while it is part, supposedly, of the 1987 Constitution, absent po yung tinatawag na enabling law, hindi ho ba?
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make is it might be difficult for you to be able to convince members of Congress to pass an enabling law regarding political dynasties.
Very true, Pinky. No? But but under the Constitution, the Filipino people were actually granted a power to amend the Constitution directly or to pass a law directly without going through Congress. So, and this power is the People's Initiative power. So this is a power granted to the Filipino people under the Constitution for them to pass a law directly without going through Congress or to amend the Constitution without going through Congress. But this power has never been used. It's like a door that has never been opened. So I'd like to really to find a way to use that power or to open that door for the Filipino people.
And I'd like to do a follow-up on that, attorney, if you don't mind. Why was this never tapped?
Why never used?
Opo.
Yeah, because siguro there's no single or group that really made a serious effort to use that power. Because this power, Pinky, requires that kailangan may petition ka. Ang petition na ito, nandun yung batas or yung amendment, but you need to secure the signatures of at least 3% of the registered voters per district nationwide. So medyo
every
matrabaho
legislative
siya.
district, opo, 3%.
Correct, but doable, no? But the good thing about this election is that the tropa of VP Len and Senator Kiko, we have tremendous supporters and volunteers nationwide in practically every congressional district in the country. So we can tap that. We can tap those volunteers and supporters right after the election. But right now we need to promote the idea, and we need to educate them about this power and about the issue.
Just before we go on a break, before I lose this thought, what are your thoughts on this possibility, attorney, that in the Senate, because you're saying to regulate this, of course, this needs to be discussed further, but in the Senate, come 2022, there is a possibility that we will have a Villar mother and son tandem in the Senate. We can have a Cayetano, a brother and sister tandem at the Senate. We can have a Binay, a father and a daughter tandem, and maybe even also an Estrada Ejercito tandem in the Senate, if they win.
That's very true, Pinky, and the possibility is actually very, very real possibility na next year, based on the surveys ngayon, baka magkaroon ng mag-ama sa Senado, which means si Jojo Binay and Nancy Binay mag-ina sa Senado, si Nancy Villar and Sumar Villar at magkapatid sa Senado, Cayetano, and another magkapatid sa Cayetano, Estrada and Estrada. No? So
Opo.
that's the tragedy of our setup right now. That's why one of the reforms that I'm really pushing for, Pinky, is to make the senatorial elections by region instead of nationwide. No? Kung by region, actually under the 1935 Constitution, Pinky, the elections of our senator were by region. So pag ginawa natin by region yan, there would be equitable representation per region. There would be equitable distribution of talent and resources per region. Ang budget ng bawat senator will be spent doon sa region nila. So I think that would introduce more development in the countrysides, no? Instead of nangyayari ito sa atin ngayon, pasikatan kung sinong sikat, artista ka, social media star ka, or pamilya ka na ng very established na senator o politiko, wala. Baka right now, mag-ama, mag-ina, magkakapatid, nandiyan. No? But there's a possibility, Pinky, baka darating ang panahon na baka tatlo na sila, 2 anak, 1 nanay sa Senado. Pag hindi natin sinubukan baguhin ang sistema.
We need to take a very short break. The Source will be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest today, senatorial candidate, attorney Alex Lacson. Attorney, so you talked about 2 radical changes. Can you give me a third one, please?
Yeah, the third one, Pinky, is this is what I call the reforms bureaucracy natin. If you notice, Pinky, just to cite this example is yung sa COMELEC, no? Ang COMELEC right now, there are actually 7 members of the COMELEC, pero 5 members ng COMELEC are from Mindanao at 3 doon from Davao, no? As if na parang yung Davao is like the Philippines, parang hindi siya representative of our country, no? Depende kasi yon, yung appointing power is the president, no? Kailangan magawa natin ng paraan yan, Pinky, no? So we should copy the examples of other countries, especially in Europe, na there is an independent commission na sila ang nag-appoint sa mga important agencies tulad po ng COMELEC or some constitutional commissions instead na yung presidente. So I really push for the creation of an independent commission na sila yung mag-appoint ng mga appointees to the constitutional commissions, including itong COMELEC, no? Para hindi siya mapapak ng mga...
Who will appoint the members of this independent commission?
I would really suggest, Pinky, that the members of this should also be elected, no? And instead na sila appointed by the president. So if they are elected, then hopefully that they get their mandate directly from the people, from the public, not from the president.
Opo, because if they're still going to be appointed by the president, it might not really work as effectively as you had hoped it should.
Yeah. So
okay.
That's the point.
Go ahead, Attorney. Sige po.
Yeah, so that's the third reform, Pinky. The fourth reform that I would like to mention is this is actually about for me, it's the educational reform. No? This is the biggest reforms in the education that I really believe that we need. No? And what is this educational reform? No? It's about really incorporating the culture of cooperation and the culture of working together in the curriculum. No? Kung makikita ninyo, Pinky, halimbawa sa Japan, why is it that the Japanese, is it so easy for them to work together, no, as a people? And in Europe, why is it in Germany, the Germans, is it so easy for them to work together, to cooperate with one another? Because Germany, yung culture of cooperation has been embedded doon sa educational system nila. And sa Japan, ganun din. The students, yung activities nila, yung programs nila, ang projects nila are designed for students to work together. Instead of individual achievement, instead of individual success. Their curriculum puts emphasis doon sa collective success. No,
Approach.
yung
I see.
community success. So that's why kita mo yung mga kabataan nila doon, early on pa lang, they are taught to work together on a problem, doon sa loob, problema. So paglabas nila ngayon, it's so easy for them to work together. So
Okay.
they do not stress about individual success. They do not stress about individual achievements. They stress on collective success.
Attorney, you in the latest Pulse Asia survey, you had a standing of 20 to 23, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to talk about your chances, but before that, we're going to go on a short break, but also very important in your Facebook account, something that I wanted to get more information from you. One of your priorities, family health card of 100,000 pesos per family per year. We're going to talk about that after the break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest today is Senatorial candidate attorney Alex Lacson. I just want to focus on that. I hope you don't mind. This priority, one of your priorities, the family health card of 100,000 per family per year. Tell us more about this. I'm sure a lot of people will welcome this.
Yeah. Pinky, I come from a family of OFWs. One of my sisters works in Japan. She's been there for more than 30 years. Pag nagkasakit yung membro ng pamilya nila doon, almost libre lahat. Yung isang kapatid ko pa is an OFW sa Toronto naman siya sa Canada. No? Ganun din, almost 17 years na siya doon. And pag nagkasakit siya or any member ng family niya, halos libre din lahat. No? Tapos yung ibang kaibigan ko who are OFWs in Italy, ganun din, halos libre lahat. I want the same thing for the Filipino people, Karen.
Attorney, the truth is, when we hear about these stories in other countries na wala ho sila halos problema kapag nagkakasakit sila, talaga namang pong nakakainggit.
Oo. Now, sa Pilipinas, Binky, actually, there was a research made by a foreign think tank, by Forrester Consulting. Nilabas niya itong results na noong September last year, na halos 18 million Filipinos daw ngayon nabubuhay lang sa utang. Marami sa kanila baon na baon sa utang. Pag nagkasakit ang pamilya nila o pag na-hospitalized, hindi talaga nila alam kung saan kukuha ng pera. So nangungutang sila. No? Kasi ang sagot ng PhilHealth, hindi sapat. Malaking kulang ang sinasagot ng PhilHealth. That's why napipilitan sila umutang. Pinky, gusto kong isulong itong family health card na 100,000 piso bawat pamilya taon-taon. Kasi kung managkasakit sila sa pamilya nila, tapos walang pag nakasakit sila sa pamilya nila, tapos kung
pagkukunan ng pera.
Tama po, no? Ang hindi po masasagot ng PhilHealth, pwedeng po kunin dito sa family health card na ito. Next month, pag nagsakit ulit yung member ng pamilya nila, pwedeng kunin hanggang po ito ay sa maubos, no? 1 taon. Until such time, Pinky, na ma-perfect natin itong universal healthcare law natin, no? Ang tanong parati dyan, may pondo ba?
Opo.
Yung
Dalawa po tanong ko. Saan niyo po kukunin ang pondo? Number one, alam naman po natin problema na po sa PhilHealth. Yung mga hospitals po hindi nababayaran. But marami pong problema yun. That's a complex problem. That's number one. And more importantly, I also wanted to find out from you, how many families are you talking about? If we have a population of what? About 110 million Filipinos. Ilan po ang pamilya?
Ang pamilya sa Philippines ay roughly po mga 22 million to 23 million pesos. No? Pero ang babayaran
22
po
million
doon
families.
Kaya mga 22 million to 23 million families. Ang babayaran po doon sa card, hindi cash ito, Pinky. This is actually like a credit card. No? So hindi cash ang ibibigay, kundi credit card. Pag nagkasakit siya, na-hospitalize, tsaka lang magagamit ito. Hindi ito cash. No? So ang babayaran ng gobyerno dyan ay yung premium payments lang. No? Doon sa 100,000. Now, Pinky, ang tinatanong parati ng tao ay, may pondo ba tayo? No? Actually, Pinky, noong 2010, ang budget ng national government was only 1.6 trillion pesos. No? Ngayon, ang budget ng national government is 5.2 trillion pesos. Ibig sabihin, may pondo tayo. No? Ang question ng parati is, saan ba natin ilalagay itong pondo na ito? Sa anong programa natin ilalagay? Ito, Pinky, sinusulong ko dito na itong pondo dito sa family health card, huwag na natin padaanin pa sa LGUs, huwag na natin padaanin pa sa Department of Health, sa PhilHealth, diretso na ito sa taong bayan. Lahat, ang totoo niyan, lahat naman ng budget natin sa gobyerno, intended naman yan sa taong bayan. Pinapadaan lang natin sa kamay ng gobyerno. Pero ito, kung maaari lang, huwag na natin padaanin sa gobyerno, indiretso na natin ito sa taong bayan. No? Pero part siya ng national budget.
Okay.
Dagdag ko lang, Pinky, na sabi ng Deputy Ombudsman na si Cyril Ramos noong 2019, halos 20% daw ang nanawala sa korupsyon sa ating national budget. Taon-taon, minimum daw yan. Noong 2019, ang 20% na yan was 770 billion pesos. Ganoon kalaki ang nawala sa national budget natin dahil sa korupsyon, 770 billion pesos. At kung nalala niyo, Pinky, yung nawala sa PhilHealth dahil sa sindikato, 154 billion pesos nawala. At panghuli lang, Pinky, taon-taon, merong mga unspent portions of our national budget. Unspent.
Yeah.
Ibig sabihin, hindi natagasa ng gobyerno. And hundreds of billions yan taon-taon, Pinky, ang unspent. Ibig sabihin, may pondo ang gobyerno. Ang question lang, saan mo gustong ilagay yung pondo na yan? Ito, gusto ko ito isulong na idiretso ito sa taong bayan.
I see. Very quickly though, as mentioned a while ago, in the last survey, you were ranked at between 20 to 23. How do you intend to introduce yourself, Attorney Alex Lacson, to the public? Dahil yung the people familiar with you, mababa po eh. It's at about 23 or 24%. Yung awareness sa inyo.
Yung awareness level ko, Pinky, is pinakamababa, 28%. Ibig sabihin, doon sa top 20 na mga tumatakbo na nasa top 20 ng surveys, ako yung hindi talaga kilala. Pero mataas tayo sa ranking kasi ang ibig sabihin, yung kukonte na nakakilala sa atin, gusto akong iboto. Yun yung maganda doon. Ang mataas yung trust rating, mataas yung
Attorney Alex Lacson, unfortunately, I'm not hearing you anymore. We're having some audio problems. At the same time,
Opo, yeah, Pinky.
ayun,
Yeah.
okay, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, Attorney,
Pinky,
pasensya na po, no? We've run out of time. It's 9:31. I'm
Opo.
sorry about that, but we're gonna have to go. I'd like to thank you for your time and wish you luck, of course. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, Attorney Alex Lacson.
Maraming salamat din, Pinky. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.